you saw the outdooring of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the presumptive vice president of the Republic of Ghana, 2025 and beyond. That's what the NPP says. Now, what do you make of the event yesterday?
First of all, Matthew Opoku Prempeh needs our help.
How?
He needs help because no matter how a royal palace, a whole institution like the Asante Hene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II bathed him, cleansed him, decided to take the bullets. If you listen to Otumfuo's speech, he said they have said that chiefs do not engage in politics. But I cannot sit down, and this is to paraphrase because it was in Akan language. I cannot sit down and not stare at my rival. I would have to do it because this is my own. Otumfuo virtually sanitized him, cleansed him, put makeup on him, wrapped him in a beautiful duku gele, and then Napo came on podium to dirty himself again. Did himself bad.
How did he do that?
Did himself nyama.
How did he do that?
I mean, what did Otumfuo say? Otumfuo said, don't let people continue to say you are arrogant. I didn't train you that way. You know, even the father of Ataye will say he didn't train Ataye to be a thief. But people say you are arrogant. Please, go and distinguish yourself. Please try to be humble. The advice was that be humble to the Ghanaian people. Look, I have never seen in my life Otumfuo being in such a political posture. And this is not to negate him, like he was yesterday. Because, in fact, I understood him. He said he paid the fees of Napo. So he ought to have done what anyone who pays your fees will do. Then you get a platform, tell people why you should be vice president. Tell people why you are the best choice for this country. Be compassionate to your listeners. Profess policy. Give them solution. Be passionate with them. Let them understand you feel their pain. You feel their plight. You take the mic and then you shout, even your Nkrumah. My goodness. Look, a nation that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for. Sometimes I ask myself, what the people who died for this country did. And from yesterday until now, I've been imagining how Dr. Kwame Nkrumah will be turning in his grave. Look, the ministry you Napo, you man, the biggest achievement under that ministry is the Akosombo Dam. It brought on board over 1,000 megawatts of power. But for Nkrumah, your ministry wouldn't have existed. The school you attended, Kwame Nkrumah, it was a legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. But for Nkrumah, well, absolutely. But for Kwame Nkrumah Science and Technology, KUST, Kwame Nkrumah Science and Technology.
Yes, Kwame Nkrumah,
I'm a product
University of Science and Technology.
University of Science and Technology.
It was actually UST before.
Absolutely. But for Dr. Nkrumah, you wouldn't have attained a degree in this country. And this is how you pay him back. This is how you desecrate and denigrate him. You see, this is not the first time Napo has attempted doing that. He introduced a curriculum that sought to change the narrative, the history of this country when he was education minister. In fact, it was after that curriculum he attempted introducing that gayism, LGBT, comprehensive
there was
sexuality.
No gayism there.
Comprehensive. They were meant to teach our wards how a man and a woman should marry.
No, comprehensive sexuality education is not.
Innate had clauses that sought to tell you that if a man and a man marries, there's nothing wrong with it.
Which clause is that?
I would give you the clause. I had the docket. They took it to Parliament and withdrew it. If you remember, I'll send it to you, a copy of that.
And you said that the purpose of that was to introduce gayism in the schools?
It was virtually orient our wards into accepting that policy. But that's not a discussion for today, so we'll move ahead of that. And then you stand on a podium, showed arrogance. I mean, even if you don't respect Dr. Nkrumah, but your own Kofor, one of your party's founders, was president in this country before. You didn't honor him. Even if he had said, look, the NPP had developed, who would have said, yes, you respect Kofor. But what happened to Kufuor's record?
President Kufuor.
What happened to President Kufuor's record? He threw it to the dogs. He didn't care. He said all presidents. So add President Kufuor, add Dr. Bawumia, add whoever. He didn't care. And said Nana Danko Kufuor's record is superior. Look, I may forgive Napo, but I think that I will not watch my fellow human being dirty himself in that manner.
So what would you do?
We need to sit down.
With him?
Yes, we need to unanimously come together. For the first time, I said this on a sister platform, that I'm NDC. I'm NDC. Napo is NPP. He's my opponent. But I feel sad if my colleague, human being, would be, tarnishing and denting his own image in this manner. Look.
So when Napo, you sit down with him, what do you want to tell him?
No, I wish to guide him on the path of righteousness.
And you say what to him?
I'll tell him that, sir, you can't continue in this arrogant behavior. Arrogance has taken no man anywhere.
But Kufuor said he is not arrogant.
Kufuor said he's not arrogant to him. But people say he's arrogant. He should prove himself. And he proved Kufuor wrong on a platform. He virtually, he was so pompous. Yesterday was my first time of seeing arrogance in human form. So pompous. So full of himself. Yesterday, right after the advice, even before he could get to the podium, there was a young lady who was attempting to get to him. He said, "Get out." Frowned his face, so angry. The video.
But maybe the lady was being belligerent at the time, was trying to, hound him.
So as a running mate, that's your composure. That was the best composure.
But do you lose yourself because you want to become a running mate?
No, but you must stay humble. Humility is a huge quality, both religiously, morally, socially, economically, however you put it. And that's why in our constitution, you must be of sound mind.
Are you people not mounting too much pressure on this gentleman? He has just been announced. Allow him to breathe.
What I did yesterday was to compare the outdooring of Professor Nana Jane to what happened in Kumasi. You attended the event at UPSA. You listened to solutions. You listened to policy. You listen to Professor Nana Jane speak about gender. You listen to her speak on our socio-economic issues. You listen to Professor Nana Jane tell you how 1 million women were going to benefit from a women's bank. That was policy. And that was a woman who inspired hope in the young generation. Yesterday, all I heard Napo do was to either lie, show arrogance, showcase a very bad demeanor and attitude. And you say, you are a journalist, Johnny. Whenever you get an opportunity of being behind a mic, the first thing that comes to mind are your audience. Then the target audience comes into place.
Right.
You should know the people you are speaking to. You are speaking to Ghanaians. You are speaking to unpaid contractors. You are speaking to Napo trainees who have not been paid. You are speaking to school feeding caterers who have not been paid. You are speaking to nurses who cannot cope with the high standards of living in the economy today. You are speaking to teachers who are struggling on a daily basis. And all you stand there and you tell them is that even they are in coma. And as man, look, I'm from the northern part of this country. The first time we started seeing senior high schools was under Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. But for Nkrumah, the entire northern region wouldn't have been educated. It was all senior high schools in the northern part, virtually all, are either 60-year or 64 or 62-year-old. They were berthed as a result of the vision of Dr. Nkrumah. In the south here, you find senior high schools who are 90 years, 80 years, you know that. Right. In the north, you hardly get that. You know why? Because for more than 40 years of our history before Dr. Nkrumah, there was no education in the north. Nobody thought about us.
They cut you off.
They cut us out. It took Dr. Nkrumah to remember that there were human beings living up north. My forefathers and my fathers and my grandfathers owe it a duty. Today I'm educated because Dr. Nkrumah remembered to educate my forefathers. Because he brought senior high school to the north. He didn't only just do that. He added a northern scholarship that made SHS free up north. Many years before it became free in the southern part. That is what I honor Dr. Nkrumah for.
So you were hurt when Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh said that?
I was pained. Seriously pained.
Can he be forgiven?
I was bruised.
Can he be forgiven?
We need to sit with him. We need to have a conversation
But would he allow you to sit with him?
I pray he does so. If he doesn't, I pray one day I get an opportunity.
What form would this meeting take?
I don't know what form it's going to take, but it could be a deliverance service. however we decide
you
to put
want
it.
to have a deliverance service for the MPP's running mate.
He needs help.
Are you serious?
Are you happy with the conduct of Napo? I ask you, Johnny.
Well, but
are you happy that people?
Service,
are you happy that the whole royal family sanitizes and cleanses a man, and in less than 30 minutes he dismantles himself, he condemns himself,
but why do you want to organize an anointing? Are you Alpha Hour?
I don't need to be Alpha Hour. I only need to be a compassionate Ghanaian to see that this man is going wayward. I only need to be a man who thinks about my friend or my brother to see that this man has lost it. Look, we have tried on a number of occasions to deliver Dr. Bawumia. But you and I will attest to the fact that he will never change. Dr. Bawumia has been lying. We've been correcting him. He has been lying. So we have left him. But I feel we still have a chance with Napo. We can sit with him. We can talk to him. Arrogance mixed with incompetence is something that we can look into. One thing we have failed to do is to correct Dr. Bawumia from his lying path. But you see, yesterday, Nanado did something that got me terrified. 2021, Otumfuo lamented that Dumso had destroyed his appliances. You remember?
I remember that.
Nanado stood and watched Otumfuo yesterday and said there hasn't been Dumso under his administration. Nanado, what are you telling Otumfuo? And you see, people don't know Nanado. And I've told you this a number of times, Johnny, that you don't know Nanado than I do. I know the man. He will never change. He doesn't forgive. He's kept that statement in his mind from 2021. And he said, I won't say it anywhere. I'll go to his palace and I'll tell him to his face.
He told you?
And I'm telling you, I know Nanado.
How do you know him? How close have you gotten to him?
No, if Otumfuo should say, Malik, you are A. I get to his palace and my statement is based on what Otumfuo said. I have responded to him. Yesterday, Nanado responded to Otumfuo to a comment Otumfuo made in 2021. And I said, yes, that is my man. He doesn't forgive.
So you are happy that he doesn't allow things to go?
No, I know him. I know his character. We told you, the Ghanaian people, Dr. Nyahunya Otamakulo told us. Many people, Kofi Kumsin told us that this man was arrogant, he was wicked, and he wasn't going to forgive people if he crossed the line. We saw it yesterday. I mean, for a moment, I was wondering how Otumfuo will be feeling. You know when you say something, you attend a program and you say something, and the next speaker stands up to respond to you, and then you will never get the opportunity of also responding back. You feel pained. After Otumfuo lamented that there was Dumso under your administration, to the extent that his appliances, he didn't just say Dumso, he said his appliances, his home appliances were being damaged on a daily basis. Nanado had the effrontery yesterday to look at him and say, sir, you are lying. There was never Dumso under my era. Look, I thought we were going to keep managing the 10 cardinal sins of Napo. At least we were trying to see how we could manage.
He has 10 cardinal
Absolutely.
sins.
I thought we were going to we're going to keep managing.
Let's listen to His Royal Majesty 2432.
Agokrami wa na dum na asaso na mimfidie nyina asese nam se yenko kanan kichene se de tina kane esa yesi biwo David ono a obafie wo kwa kodidi na kane afon na nim na dum na zo na po na de na abe no zina na mekwa akwahwam na yi na de medan de wo gina ha kane se ehunu se kane ano ye na mafa mpanyimfo a wo mu nyina so mu nyina me mra na mehwe adekro na engineer for ni nipa ehwe kane ni nyina wo de nyina ba manim ne mo kasa yi mo broni kasa me yese wono na dwumadie na mahwe aye Hanson se ne nyina ye nkɔ ne nkɔhwɛ saa no ye no school mo de no se mpanyimfo na ehwe mo mbɛhwɛ yi se mbɛhwɛ ama ene ma tete ne nyina wo mbɛpesika ne ayama ayi makane ana se gyina ama ye.
But they brought engineers to fix the matter. So why are you belaboring the point?
No. So you should have played Nanado's response to him yesterday on the podium. He said there hasn't been Dumso under his
era. As far as he knows, as far as he has been briefed.
Okay, so Otumfuo lied virtually. According to Nanado.
I didn't say that.
According to Nanado, did you hear him? He said even when the man came, the minister on one named Kania from. He said before the minister, he was speaking to Napo. Napo was energy minister.
He had come to eat.
Absolutely. Also, on one name frame. And Nado goes to his palace. Remembers what he said in 2021. He said, I won't forgive you. 2022, right? I beg your pardon. And then says, I won't forgive you. He says it to his face. There hasn't been doing so under my era. You see, they went to Ashanti region to first of all display opulence. They went to the Ashanti region to display arrogance.
That's their home region. The party support will be there. What are you fighting? If you go to the Volta region, you find party support.
Yeah, but if we go to the Volta region, won't display opulence, won't display arrogance.
But what do you mean opulence?
We will tell the Volta people of the Volta region what we've done for them and what we'll do to them.
But what do you mean opulence?
We won't miss an opportunity.
What happened yesterday was just grand and royal.
We won't miss an opportunity in the Volta region to tell them how we constructed the whole airport for them. And what we'll do when we get power. We've done that to the Ashanti region. When President Mahama went to Otumfuo's palace, you remember? He said, sir, I know I'm not an Ashanti, but at least remember me for the Sewa Hospital. At least remember me for the Asawasi Market. At least remember me for the Afari Military Hospital. At least remember me for KJTR Market. At least remember me for Asawasi Roads. At least remember me for the Tafu Roads. At least remember me for Kenyasi Roads. That was a man who knew what he had done to the people of the Ashanti region. Your brother. And what struck my heart, again, yesterday, was when Napo said, I'm one of your own. Right on that. Yeah. I'm one of your Really? Your education minister, point to one senior high school you took to the Ashanti region.
Must he take some to the Ashanti region?
You were energy minister.
The Ashanti region has Opokuwari, it has Prempeh, it has St. Monica, it has St. Louis.
The northern region had Ghana School, it had Tamasco, it had Vitim Senior High, yet President Mahama brought Ampaha E-Block, he brought Bamboy E-Block, he brought Daboya E-Block, he brought Tolong E-Block. The Ashanti region already had some markets, yet President Mahama brought KJTR market. The central region already had markets, yet President Mahama brought Kutokraba. We had airports in this country, in fact we had Kutuka. Yet President Mahama brought Terminal 3. Development must meet the population growth of the people. Senior high schools have been choked. The last time Prempeh College, the school he completed and the school I completed, we had a deficit in dormitory blocks. People were virtually lodging in some of the cubicles. What to stop it? If it gives them a community day school.
I see.
You became energy minister. You took Dumso to the Ashanti region. Dumso.
They say you left Dumso for them.
I mean,
you left Dumso for them.
Obviously, I keep saying this. In 2008, when Ghana was struck with Dumso, the only thing that could come to the NPP's mind under President Kufuor was that Dumso was a spiritual problem. If you remember at the time, I'm sure you were a young journalist by then. You remember President Kufuor took pastors from Suhum, Apedra, and Tema Community 1. You remember? To the Akosombo Dam to go and put their hands on it and pray on it. You remember? When President Mahama came, he said Dumso was not a spiritual problem. It was a technical one. He said we didn't need to cast out holy spirits out of, demonic spirits out of the Akosombo Dam. No demonic spirit was there. We rather needed to cast out demonic spirits from a corruption mindset. Take money, buy power batches, and fix the problem. Generation megawatts in this country grew from over 1,000 megawatts to 5,000, if you remember. In fact, to the extent that the NPP, accuse us of bringing excess capacity, power. If you don't meet your demand, how do you even have access?
Okay.
Yes, and Grophobia when in Sadia, Messia Aqualay, Metitin will fear man who is a dear tin and Naya Casa. The air cano made a messa with his antissa, a man in your home. Na Elbanso and Yamitumenti, Ubedia Chene Bibia, a Bompire, Chene de Yame, Ashisha, Ayahama. Dr. Bawumia catches them in the national and sir. Baby, I want so Titino, and from Sobia never by my son Tina Miamentian with them. And for Sobia, baby, Manote, Montiano.
It's some 26 minutes after 9.
Expect anything from him. He is to be introduced to the Asantuma Council and of course to the rest of the country. So you just expect him to be present and he would be introduced to the people who have gathered to welcome him.
The best in the morning is on.
Absolutely. That was the reason why he was chosen. He was chosen to help ensure that we secure absolute, comprehensive, complete, total victory.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise.
I don't know about that. We don't have 100% perfect human beings. No human being can lay claim to infallibility. So he may have had one or two difficulties, challenges here and there, but he is solid and he is going to properly, effectively, comprehensively with our candidates.
The best in the morning is on 92.7.
Watch the space. Watch the space. The NDCs are prone to say anything that comes to their mind. Anything at all that comes in there. So if they believe that this is a ticket that could easily be tackled, I pray for them. I wish them well. Watch the space. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? We're going to set history. We're going to make history. We're going to ensure that NDC is permanently consigned into the history of oblivion. It's true. Nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. You see, when they can't compete with you, they come up with all sorts of crap. I don't understand this business about arrogance. Some people take confidence for arrogance. The man may be confident. The man may know what he's doing. I mean, you don't translate that into arrogance. I have heard one or two people talk about arrogance, but I think that is complete nonsense.
Cabinet Hero Hammond, Katie Hammond, MP for Asukwa Danse, says the tag of arrogance is complete nonsense. 29 minutes after 9. You were talking, Malik, about 10 cardinal sins of Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Quickly, we'll wrap up. First of all, let me ask you, why is the NDC interested in what Napo is not able to do, as opposed to telling us what Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman can do?
Yeah, because first of all, Napo is one person who wants us to put our country in his hands. It's important that we know the caliber of person who wants to be vice president in this country. At least there's already been a judgment on Dr. Bawumia. Ghanaians have passed a vote of no confidence on him.
When did they do that?
Because Ghanaians feel that all solutions President Mahama has been professing have been solutions to the problems caused by Dr. Bawumia. And if you look, for example, President Mahama says you cancel e-levy. It was Dr. Bawumia who imposed e-levy on us. President Mahama says you cancel a 10% bet and tax. It was Bawumia who imposed it on us. So virtually all levies, COVID levy, Bawumia imposed COVID levy on us. President Mahama says you cancel it.
It was a necessity at the time, it not?
Are we still under COVID? Ghana is the only country in the world still taking COVID levy. Ghana is the only country in the world. And so we must first demonstrate that. But we have been speaking. President Mahama, the last time, met you journalists. I understand you had traveled, so you were unavailable.
Right.
But you received the invite. We invited everyone. And we gave all journalists the opportunity. Let me confess. At the point, I thought it was getting late. So I whispered into President Mahama's ears. As I said, it's getting late. You've got to go. He says, not until every journalist is satisfied with his answer. And I repeat, not until every journalist is satisfied with his answer.
People still had questions and people still had...
The journalists themselves were tired at a point. I was there. It was past 11. It was almost 12. And you know, it was on a Sunday.
Right.
Many of them will have to come on
morning shows.
So they themselves stood up and said, it's okay, we are grateful. Thank you, sir. We are okay. They themselves, I was there. And then he said, fine, if you're okay, then let's close. For me, I would have been here. He needed to travel the next day. But he said he would have been there to listen to them.
The journalists said they were tired.
The journalists themselves at the point.
How do you say that?
The
journalists that I know, and for me, we don't get tired asking questions.
I'm just telling you that many of them had to host shows on Monday morning.
But Nanaya Abrefo was there. She didn't get an opportunity to ask
Titi asked.
Yes, but Nanaya Abrefo is another journalist. She didn't get the opportunity to ask.
And not everybody can ask. But of course, once...
But you said every journalist was satisfied. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, now Titi represented 3FM. She represented your media house. It's called...
Media General.
Media General. She represented Media General. And the question she asked sought to represent the question of Media General. And that is why you guys sent her there. And then aside the Titi, Captain Smart. It's from Media General. He also asked the question.
Right.
So, I mean, we can't give all the questions to Media General, but we shared it across board. And every journalist, at least every media house that represented, had someone from their institution asking questions. And President Mama professed solutions. Look, one of the things I didn't see President Mama do there was to dance. One of the things I didn't see him do there was to say, Mama, Mr. No. And I keep asking Dr. Bawumia, we are unemployed. How can we buy a steer for you? If you want a steer, give us jobs. When we get jobs, we'll buy a toy steer for you to be playing. But President Mama professed solution. He told the people what he was going to do for the country. If you listened to the outdooring of Professor Nana Jane, and I've already said it here, she spoke virtually about what they had in stock for the Ghanaian people. Anytime President Mama speaks, he remembers that some unemployed youth is listening to him. Anytime President Mama speaks, he knows that there are 1.8 million unemployed Ghanaian youth listening to him. So instead of using that chance to dance, instead of using that opportunity to throw shades and jab people, he would focus his arsenal on professing solution. And President Mahama at the event took time to explain what the 24-hour economy was going to do for the Ghanaian people. It's going to create jobs, it's going to boost productivity, and it's going to lead us into an export-led
Now tell me
economy.
why you are interested in Napo's business and not Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyemang's business.
I've been interested in both businesses. I've been interested in Professor Nana Jane's business because she has been speaking and she has been professing solutions, and because I feel she would be the best vice president we have in this country. I'm also interested in Napo's attitude. I'm interested in Bawumia and Napo ticket. Because I've got to tell the Ghanaian people what they don't know that I know. You know that
what do you know?
There's a saying that the silence of the something it causes. You know, there's a saying like that. That when
the elephant,
when people go silent,
right.
I mean, when they refuse to talk, and the nation is put on flames. Those silent ones are supposed to be blamed. And so I would not keep quiet. In 2015, Dr. Nyaho Tamakulu and co told us, Kofi Kumsin told us, they told us who Nanado was. We thought they were lying, we thought they were kidding. We voted for Nanado. Today every chief must stand up to greet Nanado. If he comes, he shouts on you and says, stand up on your feet. When their flower chief asked him why he hadn't opened an e-block, he disrespected their flower chief.
But
and
he
said,
opened it anyway.
If you had guts, go and open your e-block. When the Kumfi chiefs asked him why he didn't develop there, he said, you didn't give me an MP, so don't even tell me to go and to develop your place. So many chiefs have been disrespected. Today, anytime he's moving, every paramount chief must stand up and greet him. The latest, he did it again in the Ashanti region. And so they told us who he was. We refused to listen, and today we are seeing it. I am telling you on this platform that if Ghanaians make a terrible mistake, and in the unlikely event, God forbid, that Dr. Bawumia and Napo, a liar and an arrogant person, become leaders in this country, Napo will be Akufo-Addo's arrogance pro max. We will see a bigger version of what we are seeing today. The country's economic corridors will be dwindled. I will be one of the first people to leave this country. If those people
you will leave the country.
Yes, I will leave the country.
I thank you very much for your time. Malik Basinchale is Deputy National Communications Officer of the NDC. Helen, would you also leave the country or you stay and fix things?
Tomorrow, cry if I get.
Helen, that's not fair.
you know how I feel about this.
You have lived outside for the best part of your life.
Well,
and
guys,
you want to run away.
I've told you how painful the last 5 years of relocating have been for me. I often cite Professor Frimpong Boateng. He says young Ghanaians have a future they can no longer afford to postpone. Honestly, Johnny, I've been telling you. You were asking me, baby fair. You are asking me how far in this economy, Uncle Johnny. You'll be waiting for a while longer. As I mentioned, Johnny, as we're talking about this, politicians are on the campaign trail. The real issue is that 7.3 million Ghanaians are living in multi-dimensional poverty. So I want us to, recap all the happenings of yesterday, but get back to the meat of the matter, Johnny. The things that we are contending with. These are serious matters. We have to get back to the meat of the matter.
I am broken-hearted.
You guys will see me off at the airport.
Thank you. Wow.
Wow indeed.
Okay. At least now I know that